I've got a lovely bunch of coca knives. Yeah, that's as far as it's going to go. Well, the first one that I want to cover, I actually have open already. Because I got it a little bit ago, a few days prior to the rest of the stuff showing up. Of course, this is a Tucson. This is the TS264 and M390. There we go, if you can actually see that. Very nice stone wash on the blade there. And this is one that's been around for quite a while. I haven't really had a chance to pick it up, and now I have. My first thought is this thing is actually a little bit smaller than I thought. For someone with normal sized hands, this is probably a pretty good fit. Me though, I basically have the handle that will hit halfway on my pinky there, and it does have a little bit of a curve there, so Mazwan Mokhtar did kind of incorporate that into his thoughts and everything going on with the knife there. But yeah, it's just a little bit smaller than I thought. The finger choil, unfortunately, it's really small, and the problem with it is once you do get up there, for the most part, the pointy part of the handle right there just digs into your middle finger there, so it doesn't even really feel good to grip this thing tight if you're using that choil there. Something else that I've noticed, and you can see this little tiny chip going on right here. Apparently that is part of the design. When I first got it, I was like, oh, well, I wonder what happened with that. And then I went back and reviewed pictures both on Amazon and that Tangley has put on Amazon. And yeah, they all have that. I don't know what it's for, but it is part of the design though. So that's kind of interesting. We got, let's see, not going to be super precise with this here, but yeah, just a little bit over a 3-inch blade going on here. This thing is ground stupendously thin, which is amazing. This is another one like the 223 Monarch that has a 4mm blade stock, but really comes down to a super fine edge here. I did sharpen this up to 15 degrees per side, and it basically gave me about as much trouble as I thought that other M390 really has in the past there. I do like that we do have internal lock bar relief there. It does kind of clean up that look going on there. We got a really small pocket clip. Mazwan, I'm kind of begging with you. These round singular point things here on these incredibly stiff pocket clips make them very difficult to actually get in and out of a pocket if you need to use it more than, I don't know, once in a day or something like that. With a lot of these pocket clips, I end up grabbing for a secondary knife just because it's easier to get in and out of my pocket rather than, than the primary knife that I'm actually carrying. So it is kind of a running theme that Mazwan uses for a lot of his pocket clips there. So hopefully we can come up with a little bit better solution there. I don't know. Yep, we have a 2-piece titanium going on here. We have a pin basically going, I don't remember in between which one of these two sets of holes here. But we do have a pin there in the middle. But otherwise, yep, we just have that single Chicago screw that holds on the pocket clip. And the pivot there. I really do like the thumb stud on this guy, though. Really reminds me of a Benchmade there. We got the Torx kind of holes in there and the step thing. It's not super pointy like a lot of the ones that Night Morning ends up using. And yeah, works out super great. It's got a nice action to it now. And I did improve it just a little tiny bit by doing my whole cleaning process and all that sort of good stuff. But yeah, this was the first one I wanted to cover. And it looks like I have a few kitchen knives, and I'm going to go ahead and do those, and then I will get into some of these folders here. So let's see. First kitchen knife. I actually got this one, yes, from White Mountain Knives, because they actually had it in stock. I wish I got the cleaver from them as well, but it sold out first. This is another one of those, forged 14C28N knives. This is from Raihi, though, instead of an in-house design or that one particular one that Wong did. And yeah, the handles are a little bit different. We have a ridge that kind of comes up to the back here, so it's not just a simple oval. It gives you a little bit more on top there. Very comfortable to pinch grip. This one is the 8-inch model. They also do make like an 8 3/4 inch model. I do have that on the way. It might be in one of these boxes. It might not. I honestly don't know at the moment. But yeah, I do like this thing quite a bit. This does have the gentle slope drop point there. I do think they also have the clip style points that I end up liking from the TS999. But yeah, it's pretty nice. We got the G10 there. We still have that mosaic pen that's on both sides, and we have the butt cap there, if you will. It's a pretty attractive knife. If I didn't cover it already, I think I did at the beginning, but yeah, 14C28N steel, so these things do work pretty darn well. I have been using quite a few of the TwoSun 14C28N kitchen knives lately, and yeah, they certainly hold up to my expectations of what that steel is supposed to do. All right, this is another one here. This, is it 703 or 709? I don't know. It was one of the 70 something or other numbers here. This has the desert ironwood handles, which is kind of nice because, well, they don't really, they're so dense that you don't really have to worry about them warping and cracking. And you also, for the most part, don't need to worry about doing any of the heat treat or stabilizing sort of thing that you do on other wood there. It's got some nice kind of chatoyance going on with the wood on there. A little bit like a tiger's eye or something like that. Front side, maybe just a little bit less, but I don't know. I could probably clean and polish that up just a little bit to make that shine. But yes, this also uses their really highly reflective, because it's mirror polish kind of look going on here. This is a steel that not a whole lot of people are using. I can't find a whole lot of information on it. It's 15 CR15 MOV. Which, yes, is another one of those generic style Chinese steel standards. But if you are familiar with that, 10 CR15 MOV is VG10. And this basically, by the higher number there, basically means this steel has a little bit more carbon, 1.5% compared to the 1% going on over there. And it works out pretty darn well. It does scratch up a bit, and yeah, they do have the cladding layers on top of that are also softer steel anyway. But yeah, it's very attractive. Works out pretty well. I did sharpen this one up, and accidentally, maybe the other side, one of them I scratched up. Yeah, I scratched that up a little bit. I don't know why that one in particular happened with that, but yeah, this is the Santoku from the set. I've already taken a look at one of the chef's knives for it. I do have some more coming in from this set, including the boning / fillet knife, which I'm actually really excited to get in. See how it compares to my Nexus boning knife there. All right, and then this one, which I have not opened yet. Well, we can definitely tell it's a TwoSun by that box. Yep. I don't know why I tried to cut from that side, because I can't quite see as well as you guys can. That's okay. Yeah, this box did get a little crunched up in the mail. It did kind of feel like that. It's not really TwoSun's fault. That's more or less the shippers and things like that. But this also does kind of look like it's a little bit longer, so possibly that might have been part of the problem there. So maybe it is partly TwoSun's fault for that. Either way, I don't think that really ended up hurting the blade. Go ahead and slice both ways so I can get through this tape here. Okay, and yep, a whole lot more tape going on here too. Okay, so yeah, this is definitely the 8 3/4 inch knife that I was talking about just a little bit ago. It is definitely coated in some protective oil here. So I shall clean that off just a little tiny bit. And yes, this one does have that dropped tip, so it's a lot more like the TS999 kind of chef's knife over there with that kind of drop thing here. Let's see, I can probably just yep, since I have them both here, I can go ahead and compare them. So yeah, we do have a bit more edge going on there. I do end up liking that drop thing a little bit. It's nice if you're trying to get your tip into something, like if you're trying to deal with poultry or something like that, especially around Thanksgiving, turkeys and things like that. Helps out a little bit more there. But yeah, so handles are basically the same. This is just a little tiny bit shorter than the 8-inch one, but either way, you still have plenty of knuckle clearance on both of these. Yeah, this one's pretty cool. Okay, so this is the 602, since they're actually numbering some things. This is the 601. Well, all right. Let's go ahead and carefully put this stuff back so I don't end up slicing myself. Their chef's knives are no joke with their sharpness when they come out of the box. But I do like these newer kind of guards that they've ended up using. This one on the 602. They also have this one on the Santoku over here. They're just a little bit more rigid than those white ones are. It's just a little bit nicer overall. But okay, let's get into Folder Town, shall we? Knock, knock, knock. I'm coming in. Alright, so we got a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and the one I'm going to open up first here is the SixLeaf, just because I'm fairly curious about these. These other ones, I do believe almost all of them are quite new, so that should be exciting. This one's obviously new as well. This is the SL12. Got a nice micarta handle, that standard fold-over pocket clip. We have a thumb stud. Works out pretty darn well. We have more of their kind of sandblasted finish that they've done on some of the other knives, so that's pretty cool. A heck of a lot of lock bar cutout access there. And they're doing their little scallop thing instead of a simple scoop, which pretty interesting. And overall, pretty good. This doesn't bother me quite as much as I kind of thought that it might. You definitely still feel it, but yeah, it doesn't really seem to bother me too much. And hey, this micarta is actually pretty darn nice. A good bit better than most of the stuff that TwoSun ends up using, so there's that. This is in D2 steel, and well, it's a SixLeaf, so obviously it's a rattlesnake design, because no one else has really done any designs for them thus far. Yep. The front flipper seems to work all right. I can definitely get this action quite a bit better by doing a little bit of clean out and pivot tuning. It does look like you can at least swap the thumb stud over to the other side if you do end up want to carry this thing as a left-handed or offhand carry sort of thing. Wish the pocket clip would have the ability to go over there, but it doesn't. Oh well, not the end of the world there. And something that might kind of bother a few folks is the pocket clip here is not actually incorporated with that back screw, so you do have to remove the pocket clip to disassemble the knife. For some people, that's kind of a pain point there. But yeah, otherwise, just a nice little drop point guy right here. Just touch, well, just basically right at 3 inches. So a pretty good little utility sort of thing. Reminds me of that, well, the one that I looked at was the Zanfa Santiago, but I think it's also a tuna fire knife. But reminds me quite a bit of this, but that one obviously didn't have a front flipper on it, nor did it have a pocket clip. So that's definitely an improvement. So, all right, let's go on to, this is a heavy box. All right, what do I got going on in here? Ah, this is another one of the new Reihis. It might be rye. I honestly don't know. But I've been calling him Reichi. Wow, this is a big boy. This is a heck of a lot thicker than I was anticipating here. Yeah, we got a recurve, hollow ground sort of thing with a little bit less angular tanto tip on there. A lot of crazy lines going on this thing here. It's a bit out there. We got a crazy pocket clip that goes out of its way to go onto the lock bar. But that being said, it's because the milling pattern here for the holes would probably end up eating your pockets up for lunch a little bit more than that would. That being said, certainly not difficult to disengage the lock bar on it, so that's pretty good. Flipping action and everything, it's quite well. I like it. I do appreciate a nice hollow grind from time to time. This one isn't ridiculously thin behind the edge there, so they did basically do that to thin the blade out a little bit, but not necessarily to give you that laser-like cutting geometry like you would get on something like this guy here. But with the hollow grind, it makes it easier for the blade to stay thinner for longer over repeated sharpenings, so that's nice. Yeah, I had no idea this thing was anywhere near as thick as this. This thing is like just a heavy, hunky beast. It's the TS296, in case you were curious. Handle's very, very neutral, but pretty comfortable overall. I kind of would like to have a little bit of jimping up here instead of the swedge sort of thing going on there. But that being said, it's still not bad. But yeah, this is definitely much more of a hard use than a standard EDC sort of person would probably want to carry on a daily basis. The action's not all that bad, but yep, just like a lot of others, I can definitely get that a heck of a lot better by doing a little bit of cleanup. So let's see, what else do we have here? I will move this crap out of the way. I don't need more visual stimuli than is necessary. Okay, this is an old reprint, or whatever the hell you want to call that. This is a night morning design. It is TS28. These have just kind of recently shown back up. And they were long out of production by the time that I got around to collecting TwoSuns. So it's nice to have that opportunity to grab that. The top on that guy, just right at the end there, it is definitely a little snaggletooth. You're able to accidentally access that when the blade's closed. something that should be fairly easy to end up dealing with. This is obviously, yeah, it's one of their older designs. That being said, it does come down to a fairly decent thinness behind the edge there, but this is a saber grind, not a full flat grind. It does have this interesting kind of hollow ground fuller going on that side, or both sides, not that side. Yeah, I do like this thing quite a bit. It does remind me of some more of TwoSun's or Night Morning's kind of earlier design. Let's see if I can't find the one that I have in particular mind. Must have moved up. Yeah, this was the one that I was kind of thinking of. Just, that standard, hey, we put some milling lines on here. It looks kind of futuristic and things. I really do like this TS57. It was in one of my top 10 lists just because it's very, very thin. It's just a really nice, kind of smaller knife. But, yeah, that's not what we're looking at. We're looking at this one here, the TS28. And definitely has a lot of lubrication and stuff like that going on there. Not quite the dunk in the vat and then put in the bag like they had done for quite a while there. But yeah, you can still see the D2 stands up just fine. No problems there. Fairly thick on the blade stock on it too. The blade does feel substantial when you flick that guy out. Does have a pretty substantial detent on there. I'm not really putting pressure on it or anything, but yeah, you can see it does require a bit, but once you get it, yeah, this thing flies out. And this is probably one of those that it would be, you would have to try, yeah, you have to really try to fail that deployment. But yeah, kind of nice. I do like that they're remaking some of these older designs that some of us, myself included, never really got a chance to grab hold of. Let's see, what do we got for blade length on this guy here? Basically like 3.3 inch, somewhere right around there. Pretty decent size. Nice and comfortable for my hand there. I can easily get all 4 fingers on there, but it does feel just a tiny bit cramped. But it does have that little notch in the back that really helps out for kind of getting a little bit more relaxed grip on there. So yeah, quite nice. And we do have a lanyard hole coming out of the back there, which is helpful for a lot of people, but not exactly super comfortable if you are trying to hold the knife in a reverse hammer grip for whatever particular reason you might want to do that. So I guess less tactical, but a lot more practical for most people. So, all right. Oh, this one feels fairly heavy as well. What do we got here? Aha, this is another Wong design. Woo! Yeah, that's a little different for Wong there. This is a TS285. This one's in 14C28N. Oh, I didn't cover that. This guy is definitely in D2, as it's an older TwoSun. So yeah, I do have another hollow ground recurve with a curved tanto thing going on here. A lot like the this heavy big old guy right here. This thing also has titanium thumb studs going on there. And they apparently are a little awkward to use because I can't seem to deploy it that way. That's a little interesting. I'll have to probably play around with that a little bit more. Pocket clip is fairly stiff on there, but we do have a nice ramp up to it. And yeah, it looks like it probably goes into the pocket rather easily there. We do have essentially, it's blackened titanium there, and then we got the silver on the top. Standard finish going on there. This thing's pretty comfortable. Reminds me quite a bit of another Wong design that had recently come out. I don't even remember the name of it or the number for it. I could probably grab it, but I'll do that a little bit later in the video, I suppose. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting sort of thing going on here. Obviously, it's got a little bit more of a saber grind to it rather than a full flat, and very large fullers going on there. Can I? Yeah, you can easily access those when it's closed, but it's not the easiest thing to attempt to deploy without getting a little bit of momentum going there. But yeah, this is kind of nice where it ramps into the blade. Oh, well, the blade ramps up into where it hits the ricasso there. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's an interesting little design. Okay, and let's see, what else? We have a CM design. That, unlike the first one they released, this one has a much lower number on it. This isn't the 319. It's like, well, I'm sure we'll find out, but I think it's like the 174 or something like that. Good check. Yeah, 174. All right, this one is in D2, and it's probably going to look, well, I mean, CM does really appreciate their sheep's foot blades, so this is going to probably look fairly similar to the QSP Penguin quite a bit there, but yeah, it does definitely have some differences. For one, it's a frame lock. For two, it's also a front flipper, but maybe not the easiest deployment of one that I've ever particularly seen. I got some fairly light colored micarta, and hey, it is matched on both sides there. Pocket clip, fairly stiff, but it does look like it's going to be decent to get in and out of the pocket there. I do like these top knurled thumb studs. I know not everyone really appreciates them, but I do like just how much force you can end up grabbing onto this thing with. Obviously, this thing might need just a little bit of getting used to. Definitely going behind the thumb stud rather than on it for this one is a little bit easier. That being said, yeah, you can still deploy this one. If I didn't cover that, it's in D2 rather than 14C28M. They've done that on some of their newer models. Pretty nice and thin behind the edge going on here too. Not quite as crazy thin as this, but this is also a knife that was only designed specifically with powder metallurgy in mind, and this one wasn't. So yeah, it does make sense that it's not quite as laser thin. Just to let it kind of have a little bit more rugged. Sorry, I just completely had a brain fart there. Yeah, brain fart. Yeah, this is obviously going awesome. We have a really nice full-size back spacer going on there. I do end up liking those because they do end up protecting the blade from shoving up through the back of it and being nice and sharp, as this guy in particular has just a little bit of. But luckily, that's the only one that I've seen so far. Well, out of this stuff. That has that little snaggletooth kind of problem. But yeah, this is pretty interesting. I like this guy. It's a 3-finger grip for the most part, and it does nicely round there, so it nestles onto your pinky if that's what you want, but also has a decent flat area here with the overgrind choil So you can get a full 4 fingers on there if you really do want to mash that through something. Actually, when I'm looking at it, well, let's see. It's, yeah, just a touch under 3 inches on this one. And, yeah, basically I'm trying to see if I see any light through there. It kind of looked like it had just a little tiny bit of a recurve. It still does when I'm just kind of looking at it. But I don't really see a whole lot of light bleeding through from the other side there. So, yeah, I mean, for all intents and purposes, it is a flat blade there. So, all right, I will go ahead and grab the other one that this one reminds me of, because it's not on my desk. Alright, I'm back. Did you miss me? I missed me. Yes, so the one that I was talking about was this guy that I had gotten just a little while ago. The 287. And what was this one? 285. Fairly similar as far as the numbers go. And yeah, as you can see, quite a bit of similarities going on there in the handle. This one is a little bit shorter rather than taller like this one does here. But yeah, this is definitely a bit of a different design going on from Wong. Not something that I've quite seen him do as of yet. Yeah, those thumb studs, at least for me, are a little funky, but I've also had the same problem on the the TS180 Vortex from Tepe Design that also had some of these sculpted titanium thumb studs that, for me, I like to, from behind, push up. Any of them that push out, to me, just don't quite feel as sturdy. And this one's got just quite a strong detent on there that makes the thumb studs not really work out all that well. It was definitely tuned for the flipper, so. But this is actually something that I'm kind of interested in overall. The very quick plunge grind that we have going on here. This isn't absolutely 90-degree crisp like Spyderco does it, but it is still pretty good for dealing with some of that. That being said, they did miss kind of the end of the sharpening there. At least on this side, as you can see. The other side is ground through. Something I can easily fix, and I probably will. But, hey, that's one of the first kind of knives that I've seen there that hasn't quite been sharpened through that over... whatever the hell that's called, the over whatever. But, okay, yeah, I've been rambling quite a bit, so, yeah, let's go ahead and pull all of these guys out here. Oh, I did talk about that one as well, and here's, sure, that one, that's a nice thin one. And the SixLeaf here, the ISO12. Micarta on this one is quite polished, so you don't really feel a huge amount of texture going on there. It's definitely a choice, and I do kind of prefer both ways. You know, whether something has a little bit more texture or not. I like them both. But, yeah, you do get to see a bit more of the grain pattern and a little bit more of its attractive nature on this one here. But, yeah, and I also have the kitchen knives, but I won't bring them back in. But, alright, yeah, here's a whole bunch of knives. Because that's apparently what I do with my life now. Alright, well, I appreciate y'all for watching, and have yourself a wonderful rest of your day, yo.